Hi everybody, I'm here in Wolverhampton on a glorious summer's day. Well, not exactly, but the best we can do at this time of year. And we're with a Z3 that isn't starting. So I've previously had the ECU from this one. The main idea was to get rid of the immobilizer. That's been done, but we still have it not starting. So we're going to have a look into it and see what's going on. It could be the immobilizer. It might not have been the immobilizer beforehand, or it could be something completely different. So we're going to have a check into that and we're going to see what's going on. So the first thing you want to do if you have an issue with a car is ask the car. That's the one that's going to know more about whatever's going wrong than anyone else. There's no point putting into Google or ChatGPT. The car is the one that you want to ask. So first thing, we're going to stick it on diagnostics and see what it says. So there we go, we've come across something. There's the diagnostic port on the Z3. It's a bit hard to see because we're a little bit on the dark now, but I'm plugged in, but I don't have any power showing on this. Now this is something I have seen before in another Z3.
Something very familiar about all this.
And it looks like there is no power going up to our engine loom. So I'm going to check that now with a multimeter and see what we're doing. So that's pin 1 of the diagnostic port, and when I give that, we have power. So pin 1 of the OBD is a switched ignition. So we are getting switched ignition in there, but we're not getting the main live. And this one is pin 16, and this one should be constant power, but we're not getting anything there. So switched power is getting through, that's coming out of the body, but we're not getting the constant power. So that's our bit of a mystery. Jump start terminal is hiding up the back here. We go on to that, and we do have the voltage. Okay, we're over at the fuse box now, and our main power should be coming in here, and we do have the main power into the fuse box. So we've got to find now why that isn't getting into our engine loom on our OBD port. Okay, so I've got into our engine ECU. He sits just here, and he's over there sitting it out for a minute. Now once I unplug the engine ECU and checking for power going into it, which is pin 26 and pin 28, that's me connected now on pin 26 and 28. 26 is the main constant live in, and 28 is our main ground, and we have got our power. And now when I go to pin 16 with the ECU unplugged, we're getting our voltage. So I think what we got is excess resistance in one of the power leads, and when we unplug the ECU, then we're able to get some voltage up through to our diagnostic port. Okay, so we're seeing voltage drop down, and when I plug this ECU back in, it drops all the way down there to like 0.9, 0.1 volts. So we have excess resistance somewhere that's not letting the amps through into our ECU. So I've come across this before in another car a good few years ago. I was down to the fusible link, which is on this battery lead, corroding away. Now the fusible link is hidden away, and we're going to get into that now and have a look and see what's going on. So there's our fusible link, and I reckon inside of this, I think this is where we're going to see the problem. I've cut away the insulation on the around the top, and he is pretty much corroded. Now I've probably just broken him, but that I believe is going to be our issue. Either he split there, or I don't think that I actually knocked that.
No,
I'm fairly sure that
makes sense. But it
yeah,
sometimes works very infrequently.
And I think what's happening there is we got a bit of white powder there, we can see, which is sort of corrosion, and because it's just making a little bit of contact, some of the stuff will turn up. You'll see some of the voltage turn up on the multimeter, but not the proper current to pass through. In fact, it looks a little bit white further down there as well, and that I believe is going to be another fuse poked in, so we're going to have a look at that as well. And that was the other thing we saw in the cable. Now, first off, I thought that was going to be an inline fuse holder, but it looks like that's a connector block. So I think maybe this fusible link has gone before and somebody's chopped it there and added in a new section through to our battery.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right, so I've temporarily got this linked up now because I don't have any massive fuses in, but we're going to give that a shot and see if this is our issue.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Come on, baby.
And that, yes, there you go. So that's what it was really, just that fuse. Now we've got him running. This is on a spare ECU as I made a slip up. So when I took out this ECU, I knocked him against our battery positive and there was a spark. So I think we're going to have some problems with that. So we'll have a look at that one again in a minute. But we've got it running now on a spare. So now we're just going to try out the other one and see if it's still alive, or have I killed it? And there we go, we've got him running. So struggling to find a wire. We can't get out the connector block, he's rusted away, so we've got to ditch him. But clamping our power lead into there, we are alive. So that was the problem and we've now got it sorted. In fact, because of the way it's broken there, it might have actually just been flexing or some kind of mechanical issue. But only making a slight contact, not allowing the amps through, and that then was stopping it from starting. So we've got the problem. What we've got to do now to sort that out is replace that section, and I would recommend some of the high current audio fuses that will be able to go into these wires and put a decent strength fuse in there, and then if ever goes in the future, nice and easy to swap the fuse. And there we go, job done. So it turns out just a bit of a fuse issue really, but not the kind of fuse you'll normally come across. So the rain's coming in now and this car has been sitting here for a couple of months, but I'm sure this weekend it's going to get the full spa treatment. Okay everyone, I'll see you in the next video.